I trust you're doing well. You're watching RwandaTV News live from Kigali. I'm Ethan Tashabia. COVID-19 vaccines across the country have been dispatched to various district hospitals to be distributed to health centers in anticipation for the inoculation that are to kick off tomorrow, Friday, on the 5th. The hospital administrators have commended the efforts of the government of Rwanda to protect its citizens. Now, our very own Gloria Mutesi for the distribution exercise and filed this report.
Historic moments right here after more than a year with the world grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic, Rwanda inclusive. One could say that this is a light at the end of a very big tunnel. Right here in this cold room, different representatives from district hospitals are here this morning to get their doses that they'll use to inoculate as the first COVID-19 vaccine rollout begins.
As early as 6 a.m. this morning, about 50 representatives and directors from various district hospitals had convened in Masoro in the Special Economic Zone. The vaccines were dispatched off according to province, with the farthest districts given their vaccines first and a police car escorting each convoy. Various health workers, including doctors and hospital administrators, some of whom had convened at the Special Economic Zone, shared their sentiments about what this meant in the boost of Rwanda's fight against the pandemic.
It is a milestone because we don't know where the pandemic will end. So we think this is going to slow down the infection. If a big percentage of people are going to be vaccinated, we think it's a milestone to go to the end of the pandemic, and we are proud of that. Tomorrow we are going to start, and we have lists. We have designed vaccination sites on usual vaccination sites at health centers and the hospital, and we have all the categories that we are going to vaccinate.
We are happy to receive it, and this will decrease the severity of this disease, even the infection. And we are believing that this will help us as the population, even as a medical or professional in the health sector.
These health workers say they also feel proud that Rwanda is among the first African countries to get the vaccines, and this reflects on the good leadership of the country and the efforts towards a healthier and a wealthy country.
Yeah, it is very important, and we appreciate the consideration that the government of Rwanda has given to us, the frontliners. We think it's a recognition of the hard work we are doing, and the fact that it is the first group of Rwandans who are going to be protected. So we appreciate it, and we thank the leadership.
Dr. Felix Saizonga from the vaccination department at the Rwanda Biomedical Center says this is a significant step and that they will continue to monitor this closely.
We have dispatched off the vaccines to district hospitals that are to distribute them in health centers so they can inoculate the people supposed to be inoculated, and the vaccinations will kick off tomorrow.
The government of Rwanda deployed helicopters to distribute COVID-19 vaccines that were dispatched across distant remote areas in the country. Rwanda received its first batch of the COVID-19 vaccines under the COVAX facility on Wednesday that came in 2 batches of the AstraZeneca and the Pfizer doses, both of which are part of the more than 1 million doses the country ordered from COVAX. Gloria Mutesi, reporting for RTV News.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for that report. Now, people across the country have welcomed the news of the arrival of the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines through the COVAX facility, saying they are relieved and ready to receive the vaccines. Sejanore has this report.
On Thursday afternoon, the first vaccines had started to arrive in different parts of the country, carried there on RDF helicopters, and in the southern province, more than 19,000 were delivered to the districts of Huye, Gisagara, Nyaruguru, and Nyamagabe. District hospital vehicles then took them to the different centers the vaccination exercises are to take place. Huye residents say the COVID-19 vaccines are a welcome relief.
I'm very grateful for this initiative because the coronavirus pandemic has caused us many problems, negatively affecting the society. Students were no longer going to school and problems were piling up. Now that we have a vaccine and things will be going back to normal, we can thank God and the people responsible for doing this.
Some people were saying they cannot trust those vaccines, that they could be using people as guinea pigs to see how they perform. But I personally believe a vaccine is a blessing, seeing how Corona had virtually colonized us. It would help us get back to work and develop. Hospital administrators in Gisagara district have given assurances that the vaccination exercise will go smoothly. I can assure you that these sort of vaccines are properly tested before being approved for use, and people should not be worried. While Rwanda may be among the first African countries to get this vaccine, countries elsewhere in the world have been using it extensively and their vaccination programs are almost over. Local residents should therefore not be worried, and as doctors we will be close by to assist if any problems do arise.
In
Rubavu district of Rwanda's western province, the vaccines were received by health officials and kept in cold storage facilities at Gisenyi's hospital. They did not stay there long though, because before the day had ended, they were being distributed to health centers ahead of the vaccination exercise set to begin on Friday. The vaccines are now in cold storage here at the hospital, but they will not spend the night there because we are going to get them to health centers so that tomorrow morning the vaccinations begin. The exercise will last 2 days countrywide, tomorrow and Saturday. The health centers also have cold storage facilities for the COVID vaccines.
As nurses, we are ready to vaccinate our local residents and know them well. To start, those working in health centers will be vaccinated, then people with non-communicable diseases. Everything is ready, with cold storage for the vaccines and the necessary personnel to carry out the vaccinations.
Locals in Rubavu say getting vaccinated is particularly important for them, what with the district located on the border with the DRC and frequent crossings necessary for them to do business. We are happy to be vaccinated because it means we will no longer be afraid that this virus could kill us. Also, it could mean that the borders will soon be opened again and we could begin doing business as usual again, the way we did before, because the way things are now is very different.
This will help us. Now that a vaccine is available, we will be able to sell our goods freely again, with no restrictions.
Staying in the western province, vaccines arriving at the Kamembe airport were taken to the Gihundwe and Mibirizi hospitals, with each receiving 5,000. In the northern province, 40,000 vaccines were dropped off at the Ruhengeri hospital before being distributed to different vaccination sites. The vaccination teams both in the hospital and health centers have been trained. The vaccination centers are ready, and all that was left for us was to get the vaccines, and now they have arrived. I can therefore see no reason why things will not go well. Provincial authorities in the north are calling the vaccination program a milestone in the fight against COVID-19. We are very happy because our people have been waiting for the vaccines, hearing of vaccination programs in other parts of the world, and our president had said everything possible will be done to get them to Africa, and it has now been accomplished. Here in the northern province, we will begin vaccinating people on Friday, and as more come in, we will continue vaccinating local residents and call on them to respond well when called to be vaccinated. And even though preventive measures will continue to be respected, at least those vaccinated will have more confidence that they will not fall sick easily. Nyagatare district in the eastern province saw the arrival of more than 10,000, while Chirehe got 8,559.
Interesting development there. If you're part of those who are going to be vaccinated, go with your head held high. It's an exciting time indeed. Now, the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security finds that public should inform security organs and local leaders in a timely manner to prevent crimes that threaten the security and stability of the people. Residents, however, say that some of the security threats are sometimes perpetrated by serial criminals who are better prepared than local security personnel. We have this report. 8 crimes, including domestic violence, assault and battery, theft, murder and terrorism and other offences appear to be detrimental to the peace and security of the most communities in Rwanda, according to the report from the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security. The general public, however, has been playing a major role in preventing such crimes despite falling short in some incidents where the criminals have well thought through their evil plans. In cases where there are thieves, local security patrol and DASO have been helpful in solving such incidents, and cases that would have otherwise have ended up in courts. Criminals are arrested and punished to ensure safety and security of the general public. I thank the police for doing their job well without harassing the people. Every person should look out for their neighbors.
There are thieves who come in the middle of the night and steal some of the equipment. What
worries us is how 3 people can be assigned to do night patrol, and when thieves come in large numbers carrying machete, we get overpowered. The other day they hacked a security guard in Kabuga. He was taken to the hospital. Local leaders, however, believe that informing in timely manner could prevent crimes that threaten the security and stability of the people. Village leaders are responsible for identifying and filing residents in the security register to easily identify the citizens in their area. They must know the number of security patrol team in the area and support them in finding a patrol car. The team must include a member of DASO and 5 night security guards to form a strong force that can counteract any security threats. Senators from the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security visited 16 districts in all provinces of the country and deliberated with the citizens, local authorities at the sector level, as well as national security agencies, to find out the role of the people in security management and to know how the Rwandan police, RIB and DASO are working with them to prevent these crimes and to identify the challenges they face. Citizens pointed out that there are a variety of recurring crimes that threaten their security. The chairperson of the Senatorial Committee, Senator Bideri John Bones, said the top crimes should be addressed and the people should have a culture of timely reporting of incidents to control the damage or even prevent the crimes from happening. It should be made easy for victims to get a medical certificate, to file criminal report on the crimes of battery and assault. The second recommendation, which came from the citizens themselves, is the need to increase awareness on law governing compensation and how to file for compensation. During a plenary Senate sitting on Thursday, a report was presented by the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security, which shows that from 2015 to 2020, crimes have been on the rise, taking an example of robbery cases, which rose from 3,557 cases to 14,037 cases in 2020. Now, some residents of Gweramana sector in Ruhango district, especially those residing in the center of Gitwe, complain over delayed compensation for their property that was destroyed about 2 years back during the construction of a water pipeline. The residents say some of them have been compensated, whereas others remain unaware of the way forward. Innocent Mugabo with more details.
This water pipeline stretches from the border of Ruhango and Nyanza districts. These residents say that during its construction works, their property was destroyed, which included fields and their plots of land used for construction of water tanks. This was after promising them compensation, but it is now getting to 2 years of waiting. They used our land to construct the water tank without compensating us. They requested that they start the construction works as we wait for our compensation of 5.6 million Rwandan francs. I didn't even know how much I would be compensated, or even the person that used to talk to me on phone. They destroyed all my cassava plantation. Among these are those who claim to have been compensated and handed over all the required documents. Others say through telephone calls they were requested to be patient, and when they tried to reach their matter to the authorities, it was still in vain. We are not settled. We need them to compensate us. We tried reporting our matter to the district officials, but it was all in vain. They told us that the project belongs to the Chinese, so we should be patient. But we keep wondering how long we should wait. These say compensation for their destroyed property would help them develop their families, and they are currently seeking advocacy. We thought we were going to get money to improve the lives of our families, but instead we slid back. So what we ask of you is to advocate for us to be compensated. We request that they compensate us, or if it's not there, they tell us so that we stop having false hopes. The Ruhango District Administration says that the delay in compensation was largely due to information provided by the victims, which was not passed to local authorities for approval. Rusirabana Jean-Marie, the Deputy Mayor for Economic Development, says that within a week, those who meet the required documents will start being compensated. Residents kept complaining to us, and when we checked, we found that the matter was not approved by the local authorities. WASAC requested that we approve with the notary, but after discovering that with the approval from the sector to the cell, there is no reason to why these people cannot be compensated, and this should be done within a week. The Ruhango District Administration says that the list of beneficiaries is currently being improved, and that those who have not been compensated will also be monitored. The water pipeline is 90 kilometers from Nyanza District, crossing Ruhango to Muhanga District.
Thank you so much, Innocent. Now, some members of the private sector in Muhanga District are requesting the government to establish infrastructure including roads and electricity to facilitate the growth of manufacturing and related businesses in the area. Jen Mutoni tells us more.
A factory called Seven Hills that uses recycled metal to make cooking pots is the only one that has officially started working in the industrial zone in Muhanga District. The iron materials are usually recycled at a certain degree beyond 85% before being exported to Kigali to be used in making cooking pots. For iron to be well melted, they use a high level of heat with the generator as their source of electricity. They say this formula is hard for them as they hope that the infrastructure will soon be established in that area.
Most of the materials we use were usually imported from abroad, but now that we make them ourselves, it has helped in cutting off some costs along with providing employment opportunities. There is a project already in place to establish a water supply, which will be done by a Chinese group. As for electricity, it will depend on the amount that is required depending on the capacity.
Over 100 residents have been employed in this factory, and more are yet to be employed as soon as it's completed. The employees say this factory has improved their well-being. I work on a machine that cuts circles. This industry has greatly supported us through employment, whereby in a month one can earn about 50,000 Rwandan francs. Apart from the issue of not having electricity in the industrial zone, some of those who have already bought some land and are preparing to start construction say there is a need for infrastructure such as roads to make it easier for them who want to set up an industry.
We were aware of the challenges to face in this area, but we try to overcome them. We are only hoping that roads will be constructed soon as we continue to work.
The mayor of Muhanga District, Kaitare Jacqueline, emphasizes that the placement of basic infrastructure in the industrial zone is urgent to continue to attract those who want to invest in it. We have already received about 10 industries that want to buy land. With the help of Minicom, we hope that in the next fiscal year budget, establishment of infrastructure in the industrial zone will be included in a way that we shall be expecting over 50 industries to settle in it. The industrial zone in Muhanga district covers an area of 67 hectares. Such industrial zones have been set up in the select districts so that people in the provinces can get their products without having to go to Kigali. According to the statistics from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Muhanga industrial site is occupied at a rate of only 14%, while lands in other districts were bought at a rate of more than 35%. Sites in Rwamagana and Bugesera district have all been bought. Jane Mutoni reporting for RTV.
Cannot go beyond that. On behalf of the entire news production team, many thanks for your company indeed. I'm Ethan Tashabia. Bye for now.